Hi, everyone. Welcome to class. I want to start by watching the introduction, the beginning of a famous speech. So in America, when students like you, year 4, graduate from college, so they finish college, in America, we have a very big ceremony called graduation, where everyone wears a graduation robe. So we wear funny clothes, and usually someone gives a speech, or in America, we call this commencement address, which is just a fancy way to say speech at graduation. So I want us to watch the beginning of a speech from a graduation spoken by Steve Jobs. Does anyone know who Steve Jobs is in my class?
Yeah, Steve Jobs
Yes.
who make Apple.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, he makes Apple. He created Apple. So he is giving a speech at the graduation of a university in America. And also in America, we often call university and college, we kind of use the same. So you can call a university a college, or you can call a college university. We kind of just use the word like it's the same thing. So he'll probably say college, but it's for a university graduation. So I want us to watch this. Notice his opener, okay? And then we'll learn some, and then we'll see if we can find out what kind of opener did he use. All right. Let's listen. Can you hear?
Sure.
This program is brought to you by Stanford University. Please visit us at stanford.edu.
So that's the university he was speaking at.
Thank you. I'm honored to be with you today for your commencement from one of the finest universities in the world. Truth be told, I never graduated from college, and this is the closest I've ever gotten to a college graduation. Today, I want to tell you 3 stories from my life. That's it. No big deal. Just 3 stories.
Okay, so that was his opener. That was the beginning of his speech. So think about that as we learn more about openers. Openers. Okay, let's begin this PowerPoint. All righty, openers. So could someone read this quote for me? Maybe Mr. Calpon, could you read this quote for me?
Yes. There is so much thing as presentation talents. It is called presentation skills.
Great, thank you. There's no such thing as presentation talent. It is called presentation skills. Class, what do you think this means? Anyone can give their idea. What do you think this means? How about, let's see. Ms. Dua, what do you think this means?
Okay, hi teacher.
Hi.
Okay, I think the meaning is like if you don't have like if you don't have like presentation talent, but you will do the best yourself and maybe call like if you do the best yourself and then you will call the presentation skill. Yes, teacher.
Yeah, thanks, Miss Dua. No, that I really liked that. Thank you. Who else? Can I hear two more people? Tell me, what do they think this means? Two more people. How about you, Mr. Jackie? What do you think this means?
So I think his presentation talent is very good. So if anyone everyone cannot be a good presentation, or yes, because it is very hard to speak in front of a lot of people. So you must good enough and you must good enough to speak in front of people, because maybe it is there is any school that teach you, or for example in our university there is any teacher that teach you how to speak in front of people. There is no specific subject like teach you how to speak in front of people, like you must learn by yourself sometimes. So presentation skill is very good. It's very good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jackie. Great, excellent. And one more person, whoever wants to, or I can call on someone, but one more person. What do you think? Thanks, Ms. Dua and Mr. Jackie. That was great. One more person. How about Mr. Tongkao? What do you think this means? All right. What about one more person? Let's see. I don't have idea. Okay, that's fine, Mr. Tongkao. Yeah, what about you, Ms. Pamali? What do you think this means?
Okay, I think presentation skills or presentation talent. Um, I think it can be like a person who can speak with a lot of people. They are in front of a lot of many people and don't be nervous or shy. They can speak very well and yes.
Great, thanks, Ms. Pamali. Yeah, great ideas from everyone. I think that maybe it can mean, whatever we think it means. When I read this, I thought, oh, maybe I'm not the best at speaking, like naturally. It's hard for me to speak in front of people. But this person's saying there's no such thing as having presentation talent. What it's called is presentation skills. So that just means that if I practice and work hard and I know how to do a presentation well, I can succeed in giving presentations, even if I'd feel like I don't naturally speak very well. Yeah, so I think all the meanings that our friend said were correct. But yeah, today we're talking about openers. So I wanted to ask the class if you could send in the chat quickly, like I'm only going to give a couple minutes, so please send quickly, but send in the chat your ideas you thought of for a good opener for a speech about a good friend. Yeah, my question I asked in our group chat this morning. I'd like for you to send your ideas now. Right, so a good opener for a presentation about a good friend. Like yesterday, we learned an opener is something that gets the audience's attention. So what's something you could tell in a presentation about a good friend? My idea is this: a funny story about from something my friend and I did together. Yeah, funny story from something my friend and I did together. That was my idea. Maybe I could tell a funny story. What about you? Let's hear your ideas. Something to get their attention. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jackie. A good opener may open with a question. I like that. Yeah, a friend is one part of sharing idea. Yeah, and so to maybe that's kind of like a good saying or quote, or maybe even proverb. I notice on the walls in Souphanouvong, you have many sayings like beauty will buy no beef, or what else? Some funny ones. I like them. Where is the will, there is the way. You know, these things on the walls of Souphanouvong. I think that you could, even if there was one about friendship, maybe you could use that. A nice talking with friend. Yeah, thanks, Miss Dua. Yeah, does anyone know what do you guys call these things on the walls of Souphanouvong? Do you call them, what do you call them? Like, I would say maybe proverb, but I don't know what. Yeah, proverb. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, maybe if you have a good proverb about friendship, great. Good ideas, everyone. Okay. So one thing to remember before we begin this section of the chapter is that, of course, good introductions and conclusions, they don't always have the same thing in the same order, right? So we're going to do exercises A and B, but of course, all good ones aren't in the same order, but like effective speakers, they will change what they put, like vary means change, what they put into the introduction and conclusion and where they place them. That's okay. But as the saying goes, and so like an old saying we have is one should know the rules before breaking them. So I'm going to teach you the rules and how to do a good opener well. Maybe in the future, you can change it a little bit, but for now, we will learn how to do it by the rules. And well, yeah, thanks, Ms. Fumbling, an interesting proverb. All right, so everyone, imagine you have to listen to 10 presentations in one day. Every speaker begins with, hello, today I will tell you about my good friend. How would you feel after listening to 4 or 5 presentations when every speaker began with the same sentence? Do you think that would be interesting or maybe boring? Interesting or maybe boring?
Boring.
Yeah, I agree. And in fact, we will have to listen to 10 presentations in one day. And I think it will be boring if we all begin the same way. So good speakers always try to think of an interesting way to begin presentations so they can get the audience interest quickly. All right, so we want to get our audience's interest very quickly. And we don't want them to be, after a few minutes, look at their phones, not listen to us, and not hear our stories. So, Mr. Bunmi, could you read this sentence right here?
Okay.
Thank you.
After you greet the audience, you can use an opener as a hook to grab the audience. Here are 6 common types of opener.
Great, thank you. Yeah. After you greet the audience, you can use an opener as a hook. And remember, we talked about before the hook. So this is what we use when we go fishing, right? A hook to catch the fish. The audience is like a bunch of fish. We want to catch them and get their attention. So you use the opener as a hook to grab their attention. Here are the 6 common types. So these are 6 of the most common ways to open, yes, get some fish, to open your presentation. How about Miss Chen-La? Could you read 1 and 2?
Yes. A quotation or promise to a story or a mystery list.
Excellent, mystery, excellent pronunciation. Thank you, Miss Chen-La. Miss Pet, could you read 3 and 4?
A question, a general statement.
Great, thank you. And Miss Cece Pet, could you read 5 and 6? Or maybe Miss Cohn, could you read 5 and 6?
Yes, teacher. For number 5, an instruction or task. Seek an interesting face or statistic.
Yeah, statistic. That one's hard. Statistic. Thanks, Miss Cohn. Yeah, so here are the 6 common types. And today we're going to learn more about each one. Okay, today we're going to learn more about each one. So let's start with a quotation or proverb. Mr. Tongkao, could you read, what is a quotation? Could you read this definition?
Okay. Quotation, something that a person says or writes.
Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Tongkao. And then Mr. Jackie, could you read the definition of proverb?
Yes, sure. Proverb is short, popular saying that gives advice about how people should live or say something that most people think is true.
Excellent. Yeah. And so I've included some examples of quotations or proverbs. Okay. And I found a Thai one. I couldn't find any Lao ones, but maybe you guys know some. So let's see. The Thai one says, friends for a meal are easy to find. Friends until end of life are difficult to find. Okay, so that one's funny. Maybe, do you guys know this one?
Yes.
Yeah, how do you say it in Lao or Thai? Could someone say it slowly so I can listen? Could you say one more time slowly? Okay, yeah, so that's fun. That's a fun way to begin a presentation, is to say a proverb. And then what about this one? You don't have to be crazy to be my friend, but it helps. So this is a quotation, someone, we don't know who. So when you don't know who, you just say anonymous, because it could be anyone. You don't have to be crazy to be my friend, but it helps. So this quotation is kind of funny. It just means that this person is like, I'm kind of crazy. I need a crazy friend. Yeah, it helps to be crazy if you are my friend. So that one's kind of funny. And then this is an African proverb. Maybe Miss Sambai, could you read this African proverb? You can start here, to be.
Okay.
Right here, to be.
African proverbs.
You can just read the quotation.
Or to be without a friend is to be poor in need.
Yeah, indeed, which is just indeed is just a fancy way to be like, it's to be poor for sure or for real. What do you think this means, Miss Sambai? To be without a friend is to be poor, like truly poor. Okay, thank you, Miss Sidapet. Don't worry, we are recording the lesson. Yeah, to be without a friend is to be poor indeed. Does anyone have any idea what this means? Yes, thank you, Mr. Woodme, for this information. Okay, so to be without a friend is to be poor indeed. Just means that yeah, that friendships are the true riches of life. More than money, it's good to have a good friend. And then finally, this so I found many different types of proverbs and quotes, but also in the Bible, that I read, they have a lot of proverbs about friends too. So I thought I'd include one here. Maybe Miss Latavien, could you read this one for me?
Yes. Friends love dogs or kids of weather and families stick together in all case of trouble.
Yeah, thanks, Miss Latavien. So friends love through all kinds of weather. So just, yeah, like even when the floods come or a bad storm, friends still love. And that means kind of like in real life weather, but also in your life, like hard times in your life, friends still love. But yeah, you could start your like presentation about friends with a quotation or proverb. Great. Now let's look at the next one. So I included here 2 short stories about me, and one just if I was presenting about something funny is the first one, and then the second one is if I was presenting about my best friend. So a story you guys all know, a short story to get your audience interested. All right, so let's imagine I have to give a presentation on something that happened to me in Laos, something funny that happened to me in Laos. And so my short story, I would begin by saying, we keep a bucket of water in our house in case the water stops working. Last week, I saw something I never thought I would see in the water bucket, a lizard's head. And so then I'd say, today I'm going to tell you some funny stories that have happened to me in Laos. So maybe, yeah, that's one way to begin. But yeah, and then another story, if I was going to talk about my best friend. So my best friend's name is Madison. So I want to tell you guys, I'll tell a story. I first met my best friend, Madison, when we were in kindergarten, but we weren't best friends at first. Madison would always talk me into doing things that made my parents angry. It would be a long time before they started to love Madison as much as I do. Okay, so maybe my friend Madison was a little naughty when we were children. But yeah, this is a short story to get the audience interested in what you're talking about. So I'd read this. I'd say it would be a long time before they start to love Madison as much as I do. My name is Bailey-Ann, and today I'm going to tell you about my best friend Madison, how we met, the things we like to do on the weekends, and how we stay in touch even while we live far away, how we keep talking even though we live far away from each other. All right, so a short story is a great way to get your audience interested in what you're talking about. All right, and then we have this thing called a mystery list, a mystery list. So what is a mystery list? How about Mr. Tanti? Could you read the orange for me?
Okay. A mystery list, an interesting way to begin a presentation about A miserable experience is to give the audience a list of things that's worst parts of the experience without saying how this were connect.
Great, thanks, Mr.
Thank you.
Tonti. Yeah, so a mystery list, it's like you say a lot of things, like a few things, that the audience maybe doesn't know why they are connected, to get them interested. So another silly one I made was the yellow. So for example, how about Mr. Umpai? Can you read the yellow mystery list for me? Mr. Umpai, are you here? And Miss Dua, how about you read the yellow one for me?
Okay, teacher. Lisa's brown eye and lots of leaf berries.
Wire.
What do these things have in common? They are all in my bathroom and they are all causing me problems.
Yeah, so last week I had many problems in my bathroom with all these things, lizards, laundry, and all these wires. So I could say these 3 words, and if you didn't know, then you wouldn't know why are they connected. So it's like a mystery list. Thank you, Miss Dua. And then maybe Mr. Eleni, could you read this last blue example of a mystery list?
Okay. Spanish, Danish, and American. You may think I'm talking about many different people, but actually I'm talking about my best friend. She is past Spanish, past Danish, and past American.
Great, thank you, Mr. Eleni. Yeah, so it's a list of things that maybe don't seem like they go together, but for you, they do. Excellent. And then, like someone said in the chat, another good way to begin a presentation is with a question. So maybe Miss Pamali, could you read this first question?
Okay. Have you even visited Panama City, Florida? Well, Panama City is my hometown.
Great, thanks, Miss Pamali. And then Miss Kon, could you read this second question?
Oh yeah, this service one.
The second one right here.
Okay. Do you know what is it like to have a friend that knows everything bad about you but still loves you? It's good feeling.
Thanks, Miss Khan. Yeah, so these are examples of questions. Yeah, and you can make your own question about your own story. Thank you. And then we have a general statement. So this is a statement about life or about people that's general. It's not a proverb, but it's something that, yeah, most people can agree with. And how about Miss Sapempet, could you read this first one?
Okay, teacher. Friends make life more fun.
Yeah, thanks, Miss Sapempet. Do you agree? Do you think that friends kind of make life more fun?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah, so friends make life more fun. This is a general statement I think most people can agree with. What about you, Mr. Bunmi? Could you read this one?
Yes, the second one, teacher.
The second one.
Okay. Friends are the family we use We choose.
Choose, yeah. Oh, I think maybe I misspelled choose, sorry. But yeah, friends are the family that we choose. Okay, so yeah, family, we don't get to choose our family, but we can choose our friends and then they become family. Yeah, something like this. And then Mr. Calpon, could you read this last one? Mr. Calpon?
Yes.
Could you read the last one?
Yes. Most people can agree friends are one of the best parts of life.
Yeah, and what do you think, Mr. Calpon? Do you agree?
Yes.
Or Miss Sambai? Thank you. Yeah, great. Yeah, most people can agree. Friends are one of the best parts of life. Excellent. So a general statement. And then we have this one, an instruction or task, an instruction or task. So maybe Miss Sambai, could you read this first one? This is when you instruct your audience to do something. So Miss Sambai, could you read the first one?
Yes, of course. I want everyone to close their eyes, take 3 deep breaths. Think about your childhood. Who did you spend most of your days with? Think about your time to spend together.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Sambai. Yeah, think about the times you spent together. So this is making you instruct the audience to do something. You tell them to close their eyes and think about something specific. All right, and then there's another example of instructions or task to give your audience. And how about Mr. Tongkao? Could you read this one for me?
Okay. Look to the person to your right. Now look to the person to your left. How long have you known this person?
Great, thank you. So this is giving your audience a task that you're telling them you want them to look to the right, and look to the left. Yeah, you're telling them you want them to look to the right and to the left and to think about how long they've known each person. So yeah, you can give your audience an instruction or task. And then we have an interesting fact or statistic. An interesting fact or statistic. Oops. Maybe Mr. Jackie, could you read this first one?
Yeah. The most obvious answer is that friendship has certain benefits. In all the cases studied, friends had better health and less stress.
Yeah, so this is a fact from a study about some case studies about friendship. Friends had better health and they had less stress. Thank you. And then I'll read this one. According to a 10-year study, so this is a 10-year study by the Center for Aging at Flinders University, a strong group of friends is more important than a close family for a long life. People aged over 70, but having a big group of friends, these people live 22% longer than those with less friends. So these are statistics or facts. I put in just a random chart here, but usually on charts, you can see the statistics or facts, and that's just like the numbers. Yeah, and so you can say people aged over 70, but having a big group of friends, these people live 22% longer than those with less friends. So you could start with an interesting fact or statistic. Great. Okay, so we're going to have to close Zoom soon. But what I want you to do is to read each person's opener, and find what kind of opener is each person using. All right, you see numbers here. Well, we're not going to use numbers. We're just going to use words, so you can ignore them. But I want you to look at each person's opener and tell me what kind of opener are they using. So I'm going to send this picture and a list of the openers into the WhatsApp. I'll give you about 7 minutes to do this. and then we will meet on Zoom again. All right? Sounds good. Any questions?
No. Okay.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I'll send in the chat and see you soon. Great. Sorry, I forgot to start the recording. So we said the first one's a question, the second one's a proverb, and then what do you say, Mr. Tanti? What do you think the third one is?
I think an interesting fact or statistic.
Excellent. Great job, Mr. Tanti. Yeah, this is a statistic because they use 80%. That makes it a statistic. Thank you, Mr. Tanti. How about Mr. Jackie? Could you read her opener for us?
Yes, sure. Please close your eyes. Now try to remember your best friend when you were a child. Okay, open your eyes.
Yeah, which one is that?
I think it could be instruction or task.
Excellent. Yes, she's instructing the audience to do something. Yeah, giving them an instruction or task. Thank you, Mr. Jackie. How about Ms. Chinla? Could you read our next guy?
Yes, teacher. Number 4, teacher.
Just this man here with the glasses.
Okay. Recently, I was at a cave, and I saw 3 guys talking and laughing together so comfortably. It made me think about my friends.
Excellent. Thank you, Miss Chinla. Yeah. Recently I was at a cafe and I saw 3 guys talking and laughing together so comfortably. It made me think about my friends. Excellent. What do you think, Miss Chinla? Which one is this?
I think a progress and interesting.
Okay, maybe so, but let's have one more guess. How about Miss Dua? What do you think this could be? Miss Dua, what is your guess? What do you think he is using as his opener? All right, maybe someone else.
Okay, teacher, I think quotation.
A quotation. Okay, also a good guess. Not quite. Could someone else make a guess?
Yep, story.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jackie. So this is a story. So he's using I. So this is something that happened to him. I saw 3 guys. But it does make sense. I see where you would think maybe quotation or interesting fact, because it was an interesting fact. Think that's okay, Miss Dua. It was an interesting fact of something that happened to him, but it's more of a story of his time. And if I was to say that I heard a man say that he went to a cafe and saw friends that were talking and laughing so comfortably, that made him think about his friends. Then I would be making a quotation. Okay, so I would be quoting his story if I was using his story. But yeah, there can kind of be like maybe 2 as one, but for him right here, he is telling his own story. Great. And then finally, last one. Who would like to try? Anyone can try. Let's do the last one. Anyone? How about you, Mr. Bunmi? Or how about you, Mr. Eleni? Could you do the last one?
Yeah. Teacher, I can read, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I'm sure all of us agree that friends make our lives meaningful.
Yeah, which one do you think
Can
that
choose.
is?
I think this go with mystery lead.
Okay, why do you think that?
General statement.
Yeah, okay, yeah. For here, I don't really see a list, but you're right. It is a general statement about life. Like I'm sure all of us can agree. Yeah, so it is a general statement. So good job, guys. We had a question, a proverb, an interesting fact or statistic, an instruction or task, a story, and finally a general statement. Okay, so now that we've learned more about each type of opener, let's watch the Steve Jobs presentation again. And I want you guys to tell me, what kind of opener does he use? Okay, so let's watch this presentation, just the opener one more time. And you guys tell me, what kind of opener does he use? All right. Tell me if you can't hear it.
You.
Thank you. I'm honored to be with you today for your commencement from one of the finest universities in the world. Truth be told, I never graduated from college, and this is the closest I've ever gotten to a college graduation. Today, I want to tell you 3 stories from my life. That's it. No big deal. Just 3 stories. The first story is about connecting the dots. I dropped out of Reed College after the first 6 months, but then stayed around as a drop-in for another 18 months or so before I really quit.
Okay, so we watched that. What kind of opener do you think Steve Jobs did for us? What kind of opener? Will you send in the chat? What do you think? What kind of opener did Steve Jobs use? Send your ideas in the chat. Let's see. Oh, Miss Octavian, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jackie. Who else can tell me? Yeah, so I think people are agreeing. Yeah, he used a story. So he used a story to get you interested in what he was about to say. Yeah, and in this story, he told kind of a surprising fact, right? He said, I never graduated from college. Well, this is a surprise to me, you know? I would think maybe Steve Jobs went to college, right? Yeah, but it was a story, and in it, something kind of surprising. All right, let's watch one more presentation and see how do they begin.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sophie, and I'm happy to speak with you today. In Nigeria, there's a saying about friendship. Hold your friends in both hands. I really like this idea, and today I'd like to tell you about my best friend. I'll tell you how we met, what we have in common, how we're different, and what we do together. After you've listened to me, you'll know why I hold my friend in both hands.
Yeah. Yeah. So what kind of opener was that? Could you send in the chat? What kind of opener did she use? Okay, Mr. Tonti said, I think quotation. Mr. Capone said instruction. Mr. Jackie said proverb. Multiviang said instruction or task. Who else? Some people right, some people wrong. Who else? Okay, let's listen one more time to make sure we know.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sophie, and I'm happy to speak with you today. In Nigeria, there's a saying about friendship. Hold your friends in both hands. I really like this idea, and today I'd like to tell you about my best friend. I'll tell you how we met, what we have in common, how we're different, and what we do together. After you've listened to me, you'll know why I hold my friend in both hands.
Okay, yeah. How about now? What do you guys think? We've got lots of different answers. But did you notice what she said? She said in Nigeria, there's a saying. Yeah, there's a proverb. And so, yeah, she used a proverb to begin her presentation to make it interesting. She used a proverb. Great try, guys. Okay, and so the last thing I want to say before we leave is I wanted to show you guys, oops, dang it, sorry. I want to show you guys that there are some ways I have here to help you with introducing a quotation or proverb. All right, so you could say, I'd like to begin with a quote from, and then say your quote. You could say, there's a saying or proverb in Thailand about friendship. It says, yeah, a wise person once said that friendship is the meaning of life, or something like this. If you have a quotation or proverb, yeah, introducing a quotation or proverb. I like to begin with a quote from my favorite book. I'd like to begin with a quote from a presentation I heard Steve Jobs give online. Yeah, so this is how you introduce a quotation or proverb. Okay, so for your homework, we're not going to do with partners. What I want you to do for your homework is to practice introducing the quotations and proverbs below, not with a partner, but with yourself. So I want you to make a video where you introduce these 3 proverbs. Okay, so just something simple, right? A wise person once said, hold your friends in both hands. Or there's a proverb in Thailand about friendship that says friendship is one mind living in 2 bodies. Okay, so I want you to practice introducing these proverbs as your homework and make a video introducing them to me. It can be short, doesn't have to be fancy. I will post this on Google Classrooms, but I want you to practice introducing a proverb or quotation. All right, any questions?
Yes. Can I have your homework again? So I'm not sure how it is. You want us to work in pair or just make video by ourselves?
Just make video by yourself. Don't worry about partner. I will take that off of the, I thought we would have more time to do in class, but we're kind of out of time.
So use 3 of them that you show us.
Yes. And I'll post that on Google Classroom so you can see again. But you use the 3 quotations or proverbs here and you introduce them using these different sentences. So you can pair however you want. You can say this one with this one. You could say this one with this one, up to you. Whatever you think sounds the best.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Any other questions?
Can you explain your homework again? I'm a bit confused about your homework.
Yeah, for sure. So I want you to make a video introducing these proverbs to me. So like if these proverbs, if were how you were going to begin your presentation, you would say, I'd like to begin with a quote from, and then you can make something up here like a quote from a good book. It says to hold your friends in both hands. All right. Or you could say there's a saying in Laos about friendship. It says hold your friends in both hands. Okay, so I want you to make these sentences introducing these proverbs, but up to you how you combine them.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Well, students, that is your homework to make the video. Tomorrow, everyone listen carefully. Tomorrow we will have class, but it will be all on Google Classroom. We will not meet on Zoom or Google Meet. It will just be small assignments to do on Google Classroom. So make sure you're checking when it's time for class. And if you have any questions, be sure to message me on my Lao number. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Now I can take the picture really quick for Adjan, whoever is going to need to do the proof. All right. Okay, good to see you guys. Make sure if you have any questions, you can ask anytime. I'm only one WhatsApp away. All right. Thank you guys. Many students back in Long Prabang. I'm so happy to see this. All right, ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Great. Great. Okay. I will see you guys next week. Make sure you do all the assignments on Google Classroom tomorrow. Bye.
Yes.
Okay, thank you,
Bye.
teacher.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, teacher. Bye-bye. See you.
Bye. See you. Thank you. Bye, guys. Goodbye.